Welcome to the Travel Agent Senior podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Kay. We're on day 103. Don't be afraid of networking. This is going to be like social anxiety ish related, especially if you've been like, why am I so hunched over? Oh, I know. I know, because my mic needs to be up like this. I'm going to take the mic out. Make it out of this thing. Now I can lean back. All right. Casual day. Especially if you are working from home a lot, and you don't get a lot of human interaction, you will lose that ability to communicate with other people. And you'll be like, I'm weird. Or maybe you forgot. Or maybe you're like working a desk job at home and you're like, oh, I forgot how to brush my hair or wear makeup or look presentable in any capacity because I live in pajamas. Um, Everyone has bouts of social anxiety. They may not feel like they look their best, and that affects them. And it makes you more nervous to network. It could be that, like I said, you just haven't really talked to a whole lot of people. Although, if you work and travel, you should be talking to people a lot. Um, but maybe it's just travel stuff. And so you're really boring. I know I did that for a while. I was like, blah, 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 travel and business development for like 3 years because that was my life. That was my entire life. I had nothing else. I didn't have time for anything else. I didn't have social anxiety about it, but looking back, I should have. Anyway, you're not there to impress anyone else. Remember that. Like the goal of networking, if you go to networking events or like put yourself out there, you're not there to get validation from anyone else. Like a couple days ago, do you drive a BMW? I do drive a BMW. Do you drive a BMW? I drive a Mercedes. Oh, like you don't, that's not what that's about. The networking thing is what I'm saying. You will run into people like that. That's okay. It can be very scary. It can be reminiscent. I think every time I go to an event where I don't know anybody, I'm instantly back on the kindergarten playground on the first day of school. And I'm just like, well, I don't know any of these kids. Who am I going to play with for the next 12 years of my life? Am I going to screw this up? That's the kind of the feeling I get. Like just being on an elementary school playground and like you're like a new kid at school or it's kindergarten and you don't know the cliques or the dynamics, or maybe you didn't go to daycare with kids, whatever the case may be. You guys are like, way to air out your and project your problems. I never had this issue. I don't care. Listen, but you're like the new kid at school and you don't know how the cliques work. You don't know what kind of games they like to play. You don't know what they like to do. And you're just like, oh, okay. That's really nerve wracking. Even if you're excited and outgoing, there's still that, are they going to like me though? It's not what you're there for. I will say though, scientifically, from something I will not cite, just something I remember hearing and or reading over the last few years, women sociologically, specifically women, have a deep, deep need to be accepted by the tribe, right? Much more so than men. So it's much harder for women to be lone wolves than men. And I know the majority of you listening are probably women. Majority of people in the travel industry, specifically travel advisors, I don't know why I wax on, wax off with my hand, um, are women. So probably going to be a little bit more nervous, but know that every other woman around you is probably just as nervous as you. Okay, so instead of promoting yourself, focus on being curious of others that you are trying to get to know. Be curious. Always be curious. I think I have heard this too. Before I record, like after these notes were taken and before I recorded, being curious is a really good way to develop your charisma. And oh yes, it was this blurb of a plot. Oh my gosh, blurb from another podcast. It was like, say one extra thing. in every interaction. Like if you're in an elevator, this is the example they gave, and I do not recall who it was that was being interviewed. But if you're in an elevator, you don't have to say anything. Just say one thing. If you are getting groceries, I remember this now. Okay. If you're getting groceries at the grocery store, say one extra, how's your shift going? That's going to really help you to get to this point when you do go to networking events. It's a good thing to practice. And if anyone in with you is like, don't talk to people like that, run away from those people. Major red flag. Okay. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find that. It was like a 30-second thing that I saw, and I was like, wow, this is in my notes on my podcast coming up. Okay. You are there to see if you can be a good partnership, not to look good and not to make money off of them. You want to see who's there. It's kind of like dating. Everything's dating to me. Everything's a partnership. You want to see, would we be a good partnership in this capacity? So when you are getting to know someone, let's say after the networking, like you get jokes for days, you're hitting it off, you're like, let's go do lunch from the networking event. So now you have like your little networking dates. When you're actually spending one-on-one time with them, which could be about an hour, like a date, look for value alignment, like a date. Their communication methods and philosophy, understand their mission statement for their business. Like, don't just straight up ask them, so what's your mission statement? Just ask them, like, why do you do this? What brought you to starting this company? And then go from there. Go turn around and ask you the same thing. They may ask you that question first. You need to know this information. You can't just be like, well, I wanted free trips and I heard I could make a ton of money. Like, have a real mission. Okay. When you focus on others, it feels so much less high stakes because we're always focusing on ourselves. Like when you have that social anxiety or anxiety in general, it's just like a focus on the self over and over and over again. And you need to understand nobody else thinks about you as much as you do. Okay. And so if you put the focus away from yourself and you start focusing on others, it feels less high stakes because you're getting to know them and you're going to see like, do I want to choose to form a partnership with this person? Like these are all options. Now I feel like I sound like an Andrew Tate podcast when I'm like, look at this. Look at all these options. Don't care about you and me. I don't mean it like that. I mean it's in a way that you can fully vet other people. And you may have some partnerships with some people that you're like, whatever, I'll send you a referral fee kind of thing. Like keep it simpler. And you may have others where you're like, we could do these crazy projects and have all these missions and like really grow and support each other and continue to evolve. So you're going to find people in the same position, like not position, but like it's the same level that you're at in your business as well. And those kind of people are like really good to partner with when you know that they've been in their business for so many years. They make about the same money as you or maybe a little bit more and you have that goal to be on their level. Like that's a good person to potentially partner with and um then they may have similar values. They may be passionate about the same kind of charitable things that you're interested in. I'm a big fan of like once you get big enough to start, you got to give back. Like you have to take care of yourself. And once you can, start giving back, right? So you might find somebody really, really cool. This episode. Damn, I'm getting hungry. Sorry. Don't try to meet everyone at a networking event. It doesn't hurt, but don't like speed date through the thing necessarily because then you have an opportunity at the next networking event. If you go to one to be like, hey, I saw you last time. I didn't get a chance to speak to you. You have 5 minutes so we can talk. You know what I mean? Vanessa Van Edwards. I think I mentioned this yesterday's episode. What's something exciting you're working on right now? Vanessa Van Edwards is phenomenal resource for like communication, body language, and like feeling more confident when you have to do these kinds of things. She's all over. She's got several books. I love her little tips and tricks. Shout out to VBE. But that's a good question she always brings up. What's something exciting that you're working on? Or what was the best part of last week? Or what's the thing you're looking most forward to this weekend? Instead of how's it going? Like those are questions that she gives credit to her, Vanessa Van Edwards. I hope I got her name right. What if her name's wrong and I'm just angry over here? Anyway, I've got her in my brain. Good thing I don't have a ton of listens to this. But prepare some open-ended questions like that. And she gives really good tips on like if you are afraid to approach people, where you should be in the networking room, area, restaurant, whatever, where you should be, how you should be presenting yourself. And it's really simple tips like don't have a drink in front of you, have it at the bar, have your hands not blocking you, have your feet kind of pointed out and open a little bit. That I think she calls it the croissant, but stuff like that. That's going to make people see, oh, this person's open to talk to, and they're going to come to you. So if you're really, really nervous, you can do that. I should have readjusted my camera because I'm just like this tiny head in the corner at this point. You can also start digitally via LinkedIn or Lineable. I think I mentioned that yesterday as well. And if you aren't ready for in-person events, you can always just like do the online thing. It's so much like dating. Do the online thing and then be like, can we have a phone call? And then be like, yeah, do you want to grab lunch or dinner sometime? This is a skill that's built over time. Like any other skill, it does take practice. So don't think if you like are horribly embarrassing in your own mind, your own perception of yourself at your first networking event, you're just like this total D-bag somehow. Don't think that you're stuck like that forever because it's practice. It's just like the first time riding a bike. You're going to fall over. You're going to say stuff. You're probably going to be like, I'm going to be really cool and take a sip of this drink and accidentally inhale it and choke and spit all over everyone at some point because you're nervous. Like these things are all going to happen. And yes, I could describe it as well as I could because it has happened to me multiple times. It's fine. It takes practice. Have patience with developing the skill. And like I said, Vanessa Van Edwards is an excellent resource if you need help developing your body language and communication skills for in-person events. Okay. I feel like that might have been a horrible episode or a good one. I don't know. I'm not editing it like I always say. Something like that. Go. Okay. I'm gonna test. If you like this episode, share it. I don't know how I can monitor shares. Or comment. Yeah, let's make that a call to action. Comments, hilarious or something. If it was a terrible episode, comment, this sucks. Stop doing this. I'm not gonna stop. Never gonna stop. Never stop. Never stop. I'm not gonna finish that. All right. Have a good day. I'm gonna take a break for today and finish recording if it's been too much. And have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow.